I don't chase the views, and I think a lot of people make content for the wrong reasons, but I still want to inspire other people, and I still want some people to look at my videos and go, if that big fat middle-aged man can get up the mills, then so can I. So I'm out again. By no means is this the video that I had planned. So the original video, I'd gone out late at night, did some filming. I've been sent some new products by somebody, wanted to test them. They asked some headlamps and there's like a little torch. I'll go through them with you today, but the original review of them that I wanted to do and the original test of them just didn't work. The footage I got, it was quite claggy at the night, so it's not the best footage. It's not what I wanted. So what I'm going to do today is, I've got a new piece of kit in my bag as well. I've got yet another new tent, but I'm not reviewing that today. But I'm going to give you a little sneak peek of a future video. I've got a bit of a story I'm going to tell you about that night, and this is something that I want to start integrating into a lot of my videos. I want to do a little bit of a story time, just make me sort of stand out a little bit different. And I want to give my views on where YouTubing is for the wild camping community and the hiking community, because there's been a lot of people that have touched on this subject, and I want to sort of wade in with my 2 pence, because my views might be a little bit different than everybody else's. So, as you can see, we're all set up now. Like I said, I'm not going to show you too much of this tent. You've got a sneak peek, you can see what brand it is. It is a one-person tent. I am aware that I said I wasn't going back to one-man tents, and since then I've bought 2. But this tent's something that I wanted for about 2 years, and it's always been way too much than I was willing to pay for. And it came up and I couldn't resist it at the price. I paid about half the price of what it's actually worth brand new. So at that price I had to have it, and from what I've seen of it so far, I'm not disappointed. It's fairly windy today and it's not supposed to handle winds well, and when we was putting it up I thought that was going to be the case, but it's holding fairly strong, so it's alright. So anyway, like I said earlier, I've had a couple of products sent out to me by a company. So I'm in the market at the moment for a new head torch. I've used the same one from Decathlon for about the past 5 years, and I just want to branch out a little bit more and just explore the market a bit. My Decathlon one's always worked me fine, it's been a belting head torch, but I just wanted something to proper compare it to. I was watching a video about 3-4 weeks ago. It's an Andrew Park Outdoors video, and he's got these torches by a company called Wuben. It's just this little small one, and he doesn't review it because he's previously reviewed it, and I looked at it and I thought that's really neat, really good looking piece of kit. So I'm on their website, I'm looking at their gear, and I get an email through actually offering me one of their torches, but it states on it, if that doesn't meet my needs, have a look on the website, see if there's anything that I'd prefer. So I don't take stuff that I'm not going to use, and I don't take stuff that I don't think is going to interest you guys. So I says, alright then. But I asked them, what's the catch? What do you want from me? Because most people want a review video, most people want me to big them up, and I won't take things where they're telling me I've got to lie. I want to be honest on it. But there was nothing. They weren't expecting a review, weren't expecting a video. They just wanted to prove that they could be better than the head torch I've already got. Now I did go out and film, like I said, and it didn't go according to plan. So my filming wasn't great, but I got a bit flustered as I was starting. So what I'll do is I'll start with the story I want to tell. So I goes out, got my big pack on, got my new chest pod on that I got from Temu, little bargain. Got my cameras in that. So I've got 2 cameras with me, got 3 tripods with me, got my filming light because it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I've got head torches, because I'm reviewing head torches. At the time, I took 4 with me, but when I actually do the proper review, I'm just going to take the 2. But I had 4 with me. So it comes out, I look a little bit like the robot from Pacific Rim. I've got lights all over me, I've got filming light on me, I'm filming on my camera. It's a place I've been hundreds and hundreds of times before, and somewhere that I'm going to camp in the future. So I parks up, like I said, comes out my car, looks like one of them robots from Pacific Rim. Walking along, and there's 2 cars next to me with headlamps on, and the windows steamed up. Now, when I was younger, I used to go up there to eat KFC at night, so I didn't even think nothing of it. So I gets out, both their engines start, both cars drive off really quick, so I thought it's a bit weird. So I looked in the direction I'm walking, so I'm walking along, it's not really a car park, it's just like a strip at the side of the road that you can park on. So I'm walking along, there's probably 7 or 8 cars at the other side, once again, all with the headlamps on. A bit far away to see the windows are steamed up or not, but I can probably put 2 and 2 together. And as I'm getting closer, same with them, all their engines start, all the cars are gone. So I'm walking along and I'm thinking, it's really strange this, I don't know what's happening. So, goes up into the hills, has a bit of a hike, gets about a mile in to a nice little spot and thinks, I'm going to start filming here. Now, I tries a little bit and the clips are just completely useless. It was way too claggy, way too foggy. Couldn't see anything but bright white where the light was just shining off the clag. So, it was no good, the footage. So, I come to walking back down then and it hits me. That spot at night is used for, how can I put it nicely, adult playtime, where groups of adults go to play with other groups of adults, and where they get to play games involving hiding sausages inside cars. So then it hits me that I'm walking back to my car, it's now 2 o'clock in the morning, to a site where people go to hide sausages and to walk the dogs, if you know what I mean. And the realisation hits me that if the police or anybody turns up to move these people on, these people who clearly thought I was the police, that I'm returning to my car with footage that just looks like steamy stuff, with 2 cameras, 3 tripods, lights, mics, you name it, all with me. And I'm returning to this area with no real explanation as to why I'm out at 2 o'clock in the morning. But I sort of thought, there's no way the police are going to believe that I'm going up there to film a video about head torches. They're just not. They're definitely going to think that I'm some kind of hub director, shall we say. So I gets closer to the car and finds a little spot, and it does get a little bit of footage, but it's not great. I will share it while I'm talking about the head torches. But yeah, it was an interesting night, let's say the least, and I didn't really get the footage I wanted, which was not great, but it was quite funny knowing that I'd scared off so many people. So from that, we'll go into my bag of goodies. I'll show you what I've got. So, I'm not going to give you too many stats or anything on them, because like I said, I'm going to do a full video of them again. What I'm going to do in the next one is, rather than trying to compare 4, rather than going into the middle of nowhere, rather than getting caught up with people who are hiding long, meaty objects inside other people, I'm going to do a comparison just against my Decathlon torch. So, you'll have all seen this if you've followed the channel for a while. If not, please consider subscribing. It does help. But I love this torch. This headlamp has been fantastic. Like I said, I've had this exact model for 5 years. Never replaced this one. To the point that even Dylan went from about 5 or 6 different head torches onto one of these, because it's just that good. And they've always been about £15. Now, my concern with it is the battery life in it's getting a bit rubbish now because of its age. It's got one of them old type mini USB chargers, which I can never find a cable for, and it's just a nightmare with stuff like that. So I want somewhat of a USB-C because everybody has a million USB-C cables. So it was time to replace it. So I went to Decathlon. These are now £25, and that's a huge amount difference. And no, I get inflation over 5 years, £8's not much. But when last year they were still, I think it's only £17, it's quite a lot. So I was in the market. So what I actually saw online was this. And it's the Wuben G5. And it's metal finish, it's Twizy. Got a little clip in it that you can either clip onto the front of my pack, like so, or alternatively, you clip it, and this is why, as you can see, why the baseball cap today. I don't generally film it much, but I can actually put it on the end of my baseball cap, which turns, if you're wearing a hat, into a headlamp. Another cool feature of it is when you're pressing the button, you can actually have infinite colours on this. So rather than just having a red light, it's got a full RGB, which you control via turning this little knob here, which when you've got it in white light also adjusts your brightness. And from using it, it's a really good piece of kit. And as you can see, it's a USB-C type, which is exactly what I wanted. Now, this is what they offered me. And they said to me, if this wasn't any interest to me, then have a look on a website and tell them about something else. So I'd been looking at this anyway. I didn't lie to him or anything. I said, it's definitely something I'd like to have a look at. I'd been honest. I'd said I've seen it on somebody else's video and I really like the look of it. But I also said they've got a head torch. Explained to them that I'm in the market for a new one, and said that I really like the head torch they've got, which is this. Now, if I pop it out of its case, which might be easier said than done.
Hope.
What do you mean, nope?
Right, where is it?
How did you press?
There's a little flip there.
Oh, I didn't know that. So, I'm not even going to edit that out. Not even editing that out. I'm going to put it back in and I'm going to show you what Dylan has just shown me. So he's clearly been routing. It is actually a little button for releasing it. So, these come in kits. So, the strap is separate you buy. I can't remember how much it is. I'll share a link to it. And you get the torch separate. You also can get an extender for it and a bigger battery that goes inside. And the battery, if I take it out, it's just these weird little flat ones. Now, it's not like the battery on the FlexTail pump. It doesn't have the USB on it. It's actually USB-C on the headlamp itself. And the thing I really liked about this one is, once again, it's really versatile. I can put it on the front of my pack if I wanted, or I can utilise the strap, and it's very simple. You just slide it in like so, make sure it's clipped in, and then that has a turn on it. Now, this has got some really good features in it. It's got only white light, unfortunately, which is the one downside for it, but it's got one that is just, I think it's only about 50 lumens. You can just about see with it, but you can see enough to walk, but it's not enough to dazzle you, and it's not enough for you to stand out. So it works like your red light would. Then you've got another one, which is the mode that I use. I think it's about 400 lumens. And then you've got another one where you only actually get a minute's battery life out of this, and that's 1600 lumens. That 1600 is bright. I'm dubious as to whether or not it is actually 1600, don't get me wrong, but it's more than what you need. And I don't think you'd ever use it. You've got a minute's battery life out of it, but that 400 of it, the one thing I noticed was, between the two, this one gives you almost like a spotlight. So on the clip for this, you've got a very clear round spotlight in front of you, but there's no peripheral. It's almost like having tunnel vision. Whereas this one doesn't seem to be as bright in front of you, but it's definitely bright enough to walk, but you get a really wide field of vision, and I really like that. Because one thing that I do find, and I don't believe in spooky stuff or anything like that, but I get really freaked out walking at night, and it all comes from when I used to mountain bike, when you've just got that spotlight in front of you. I don't like not being able to see what's in my peripheral. You hear a lot of weird noises, you hear things going on, you can hear trees cracking, and you just don't know how to react. So for me, I really like this. Now, I'm not saying this is going to take over my Decathlon torch, because I just simply don't know yet. But what I'm going to say is I'm impressed enough with it that I'm going to mix my field testing between the two and see where I stand. And what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'll do a full product review of this and comparison with the two, but I'm going to then revisit in about 6 months, I think, and I'll let you know what I decide. Now, I'm probably going to invest in the bigger battery for this, just purely because I have got that extra power and stuff then. But yeah, I'm really impressed. So I said at the start of this video I was going to wade in with my 2 pence on wild camping channels and the genre as a whole. Now, by no means am I slating anybody with this. By no means am I saying anybody's wrong. This is solely my opinion and my view on it. Now, I've seen a lot of channels, and a lot of channels that I follow, and a lot of channels that I like, and that I'll continue to like, that are saying that the genre is dead, or it's dying, or it's in decline, or generally any of these. And I don't necessarily know that it's true, or believe that it's true. I think there's a lot more people out that are wild camping these days than there ever was previously. I think the issue is more to do with things like the algorithm and people not doing it, and people chasing views, and people trying to be different. And the problem is, there's only so many times you can try to be different. Now, don't get me wrong, everybody needs that individual niche of theirs, that thing that makes them stand out, that thing that makes them them. But that's what they need to stick to. With how the algorithm works, it will post your videos out to a certain amount of people. And I've been guilty of this myself. I've tried other things in the past. I've tried mixing things up. I added bits of mental health content, which is bits that I want to talk about, but it just messed with everything. I had bits of hammock camping, and I'm still going to continue to do that because it is part of the same genre. But if I put a hammocking video out, I get little to no views. People don't want to watch it. And I don't chase the views. And I think a lot of people make content for the wrong reasons. I've always said I want to stay true to me, that my videos are for me, my videos are for my family, they're for my kids when I'm no longer here. But I still want to inspire other people, and I still want some people to look at my videos and go, if that big fat middle-aged man can get up the mills, and if he can do this, that and the other, then so can I. But I'm not going to change who I am to get that. You know, I want to stay true to me. I want to do the things that I want to do. I want to review new tents and new gear because I'm passionate about that, and it's things that I enjoy. I want to go hiking up hills, just not while I'm hiking up hills, because it knackers me, and it bothers me that I'm not as fit as I was. But I want to do them things, and that's what I want to capture. I want to go out on wild camps. I want to meet new people. These are all things that I'm very passionate about, and these are the things that I want to do. And I try to stay true, and I'm trying to stay true to why I started this and the things that I want to do. And I think a lot of people lose that, even some of the big YouTube channels. Now, I've seen people over this past year that are no longer with us anymore that have done YouTube. I've got people who I've watched on YouTube that no longer film anymore, or no longer film this genre of video anymore, because the views weren't there, they weren't getting the subscribers. And I've watched the videos, and I've watched especially the bigger YouTubers that have been saying it, and watching the way they're talking, and then I've analysed in my head the content that I enjoy and what I've been watching, and their content that I've enjoyed. And I've looked at how many times they've changed, and how many times they're chasing them views, and how many times they've done things that they want to do, but it's not quite hit the algorithm yet, so they either stop, or they change up, or they go back to something that's worked previous. But every single time you do that, and every single time you do that change, it affects the algorithm, and it affects them views. I look at my own YouTube and the things that I watch and what's suggested these days, and I ain't getting videos that I want to watch suggested. I'm getting what the algorithm says I will watch suggested. And YouTube Shorts causes a lot of that because, let's face it, nobody watches anything they want to watch on Shorts. And all these things, and my wife watching trailers for films, and the kids watching little bits of clips when they come on and they don't change over the YouTube channel on the TV, they all affect what gets suggested. Now, I was talking to Midi Outdoors last week, I think it was, and while we were discussing it, I was saying to him that I want him to start messaging me privately now. He's got my phone number when he posts a video, because I really enjoy him with his videos. He's probably one of my favourite YouTubers because he's so different, and I just find him really funny and I like his view on things. And I don't get his videos suggested. I have to constantly search his channel to find out when he's uploaded something. And I've got the notification bell on for his videos, so I don't know why they're not suggested, but the algorithm just decides I don't want to watch that. So now he has to send me a message just to tell me that he's put a video up, and then I can go and watch it. For me, I just don't think the community's dying. Like with any other genre of video, I just think YouTube's changing, and I think we've got to adapt with that if you want to succeed. Now, this isn't my full-time job. I wouldn't mind it being, you know, it'd be really good to not have to work anymore and to be able to go out and camp whenever I wanted, but that's not a reality, not with the way that I film, and I don't want to sell myself to become that, because it's not why I set it up. And if it happens, it happens. But I just think if you want it to be successful, stick to what you're doing. You know what works. Don't blame the market being saturated. There's always somebody who's going to want to search up a new tent, have a review of it. There's always going to be somebody who's going up Kinder Scout and wants to see somebody go up there, or wants to see somebody camp up there. There's always going to be these things out there, and there's always going to be people that want to watch these things. And I must have watched people camp on the top of Kinder Scout 2,000 times minimum. And I'll tell you now, if a video of that came up tonight, I'm probably going to watch it. I'm probably going to enjoy it. And my view hasn't changed on what I want to watch. Just the suggestions I get from YouTube that's changed. And I just think we're in a market now where it's so difficult to hit that algorithm. If I take my own videos into consideration, I've done a lot of new tent videos recently. I've been fortunate enough to get some really, really good deals on some tents, and to have some tents that I've just never reviewed before, or that people have asked me to review again. And I have done a lot of tent videos, and I've had some reasonably successful ones. My best budget 4-season tent has got about 1,000 views now, which isn't bad for my channel size. And I did a budget one last week, and that's not even at 200. But then at the same scale, I had the one wind tent that I've got, which I did as just a unique tent. They're all in the same location, all done at the same concept. That's over 15,000 views. I actually think that might have the most views out of every video filmed on that tent on YouTube, which for a channel my size is incredible. And I know people who've got over 100,000 subscribers that have reviewed that same tent and got less views. So it blew me away. But it's all about hitting that algorithm and hitting that trend. And that's the difficult bit. And it's not the genre. It's not. It's just YouTube. So, that being said, my rant's over. You know my opinion on it. And like I said, this is no bad blood to anybody. This is no offence to anybody. It's just my opinion. And it's just the way I see it. And I'm trying to be an optimist over it, whereas I've not really seen many people doing that. I just think we've lost a lot of good YouTubers and a lot of good content creators over chasing a dream and over thinking that this genre's dead. And don't get me wrong, the likes of me, I will benefit from less people being in a market that is oversaturated. But all of YouTube's oversaturated. But I don't care about that. These people go, I've got nothing to watch. But it's one of them things, innit? I don't know how many people have stayed to listen to this rant. I don't even know how many of you have watched this video, because it's not the usual things I put out. Very much like I've just been saying. But I wanted to get something out. I wanted to talk about the things that I was going to film. I wanted to give you a sneak peek of the tent. And I've been meaning to get this video out talking about my view on YouTube at the minute for a good few weeks, and I've never found the opportunity to do it. And I thought today, let's get it done. But if you've enjoyed it, if you've watched it all, if you've got anything from this, please consider subscribing. Please drop me a comment, whether it's good, bad, whether you agree with me, whether you don't. Give me your views. Drop me a like if you like the video. It all helps. Like I said, you've got to chase that algorithm. Without you guys liking stuff, without you commenting, the videos don't get pushed out. If the videos don't get pushed out, they don't get watched. And then this is why we don't get the views. So if you've liked it and all that, you know what to do. But catch you later.